This week on the show, we are diving into our first impressions of No Sleep For Kaname Date, the new spin-off game in the AI The Somnium Files series, as well as give our predictions for next week's rumoured Nintendo Direct. All this and more on this week's HGO podcast. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HGO podcast. I'm one of your hosts today, Ethan, and joining me, as always, for a while, for at least a minute, let's find out, it's Hunter. Hey, Hunter, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing just swell.
We're having some wonderful technical difficulties. This is like the third or fourth time that I've said this intro tonight, so this is going well, isn't it? Are you doing all right? You having fun?
Yeah, Discord is trying to silence us, but we will not let it be had.
I think the funniest part is obviously one of the things we're talking about this week is the first impressions of a video game, and Amazon let me down and I didn't get my copy. It's still in the for arriving on Monday. So it's like, it's almost as if no one wants us to, like, the higher up, the powers that be, do not want us to talk about this game because I know nothing about it, and every time I try and pass it to you, you just disintegrate into a blur of pixels. So, you know.
It's stupid.
Hopefully, yeah.
You know.
Hopefully, we'll be able to talk all about it. Fingers crossed that the issues are over. But yeah, we hope you're doing well. We hope you're having an awesome week. This week, we are doing a bit of a mixed match of a load of different topics. Hunter's been playing the new AI The Somnium Files spin-off game, No Sleep For Kaname Date. So Hunter's going to be giving us his first impressions on all that good stuff. We've got rumoured to be a Nintendo Direct next week. And by rumoured, I mean it's basically all but confirmed because the two sources that people care about, being Nate the Hate and VGC, have told us it's happening. So we can basically just say it's happening. So we're going to do a couple of quick predictions for that.
Remember earlier this year when they were saying that there were going to be two happening, like, or there was one going to happen before the Switch 2 Direct, and like it was 2 days beforehand, and we were like, surely not.
And yeah, and I was like, that's stupid. Yeah, and it was still stupid. And I still think
It
it's
was
hilarious.
Stupid company Nintendo is sometimes, but that Direct was better than it had any right to be.
Yeah, I still think it's hilarious because at times I think that pre-Direct was a better Direct at times because I'm just sitting there going, hey, I'm still excited for Rhythm Heaven and Tomodachi Life. Like those are still calling to me. And if they get Switch 2 editions onto, oh boy, I'm gonna be on my shit the entirety of 2026. It's gonna be great. But yeah, so we're gonna do a couple of predictions for that because that seems to be happening at some point next week. My guess would be Tuesday. That's my guess. Is we're gonna wake up. This podcast is gonna go out, and there'll already be an announcement that it'll be the following day. That'll be my guess. But hey, I might be wrong. So we'll just do a couple of quick predictions, what we're going to think, what we're going to believe is going to be there. And then after that, I've been playing Blueprints. I finally have been Blueprints pilled. I have finally gone back in. I've 100%ed Donkey Kong, so I've just decided this was going to be my thing that I dabble with before AI The Somnium Files. And because my copy hasn't come, I've basically almost beaten the main puzzle. So we'll talk about that a little bit as well, I guess. But so if that sounds like fun, hey, come on in. Well, if you're new here, welcome to the show. We're here every Monday around about 5 p.m. UK, 12 p.m. Eastern on podcast services everywhere, and youtube.com/hotgamesonly. Bit of housekeeping. This week, we should have some reviews going up, which should be fun. Hunter has got a Death Stranding 2 review that is written, so hopefully you'll see that either this week or next week. I'm hoping to have a Donkey Kong Bonanza review also out this week. I wanted it out last week, if I'm honest with you, but I've been ill. I've been under the weather. I had to go to the doctors. They've given me this like steroid drug that every time I take it, I feel ill when I wake up the next day. So that's fun. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll get it up for next week. But it's been one of those rough ones. I can never have just a week off, you know. I've just been like, I just want to chill out. And no, I don't get Kaname Date. And I do get a doctor's visit, which is always fun. And unfortunately, Kaname Date,
spin-off.
Yeah, and Date was not my doctor, so it was very tragic. But yeah, hopefully you got a couple of reviews coming up. And then obviously as we move in, it's going to be getting a bit quieter in terms of releases for a little while. But as we get into the end of August, as we get into September, it'll start picking up again. So if you're here for the new video games, don't worry. We'll be covering a bunch of them on the website and on the podcast in the near future. I say we just dive straight into it. Also, Kyle's not here, by the way. We don't know where he is, so we hope he's doing well. But he'll be back at some point, I'm sure. He just heard AI The Somnium Files and was like, wow, Sam never did that let's play for me, so I'm out. I don't care. So I'm like, fair play. Off he goes. It's all fun.
Yeah.
Let's dive into it anyway. AI The Somnium Files, a series that is near and dear to you, especially Hunter. You really love this series.
I
Uh,
do really like these games.
you
Some of
dragged
the
me
best
into
mystery
them.
games.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
you dragged me into them roughly about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, was it? It was 3 years ago, wasn't it? Because it was
Yeah, it was right before the second one came out that
so it
you
was
played the
2022.
first one,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
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 So, yeah, if you're new to the podcast, Hunter and I don't know, I'm not a huge visual novel guy, but I like the Spike Chunsoft kind of Danganronpa, AI The Somnium Files, 999 have always been in my kind of periphery. Like, I've known of their existence for a long time. I just never have dabbled with them until I dabbled with Danganronpa back in God knows when. That's when the
Yeah.
problem began. And you were like, "Oh, you'll like AI The Somnium Files. It's like Danganronpa but with good writing." And I'm like, "Okay, let's try
Yeah,
that out."
it's like Danganronpa, but better.
Well, it's like I was never
Uh,
a fan of 999. I tried to get into 999, but it's too kind of sore, kind of, escape room, kind of gory, kind
yeah.
of I'm gonna blow everybody up if you don't do what I say. And I'm just like, I enjoy a little bit of camp. I think it's because I grew up on Doctor Who from the 2000s where it was very camp. So it's like, I need a bit of goofs and gaffs in my escape room dire situations, and 999 doesn't have that. It just seems to be pure drear. Whereas Danganronpa's got a stupid teddy bear and Kaname Date is like one of the best protagonists in gaming. So,
Yeah,
what can
it's
I
very
say?
true.
Uh,
Uh,
what clued you onto AI then when you first got into it? Because I never really asked you that question.
um, what was it? I think it was just Adriana Figueroa, one of the streamer video game cover ladies I like. She just talked about it one time. She really liked it, and on top of that, later, a few months after hearing about it the first time, when I was like, I think I'm gonna play this soon, one of my friends was like, "That is a good game. You should play it.
No,
Do that."
fair enough. And here you are now, many years later, and you're a pretty big fan. This kind of came out. It came out of nowhere, and it didn't because I feel like me and you, we had our tinfoil hats on. We
We
were
were
like, there
both
should
like,
be
"It's
an.
about time for another one." I feel it in the air.
It felt about right. We all thought it would be AI 3. We didn't think it would be a spin off, but
Yeah,
hey ho, here we are.
this didn't really seem like a spin-off type of series.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm not gonna lie, because of the whole thing with the 100 line and everybody moving over to Tokyo Games, I was under the assumption I was like, I hope they carry on doing it. And I don't know if this was like, I don't know if this was a smaller project where they were like, okay, because there's a new director and everything. I don't know if they were like, get your feet wet with this before you try something bigger. Maybe that was the idea behind it, like a Miles
That would
Morales
make
kind of
sense,
thing. But
because the other guys was still credited as like consulting for it, or like a consulting producer, something like that. I don't remember what the role was, but his name was there.
I don't think there was any malice in their leaving because I think that
No, no.
Kodaka's still been very vocal about, hey, maybe one day I would like to go back and do Danganronpa. Who knows? So it's like I feel like they're just kind of, I don't know. I feel like eventually they'll all wind up and going back and doing something for them at some stage or another. So, but here we are. No Sleep for Kaname Date. It's out only on Switch and Switch 2 and PC if you're that way inclined. So no PlayStation, no Xbox, which is weird because it's like, the first game was pretty big on Xbox Game Pass. Like a lot of people got into it I got into it on Xbox Game Pass because it was, you know,
Yeah,
I had the subscription. I just hopped in and enjoyed it quite a bit. It's weird to me that I don't know if I like it, if I'm honest with you, Hunter. I don't know what your take is on it. The whole the Spike Chunsoft Switch first mentality. It's like I respect it, but also I'm like, like
it's weird because like if this were Somnium 3, or if this were like Danganronpa 4, I feel like they wouldn't do it. It
yeah.
would go as many places as they could put it. I don't know. Maybe it's this weird like market experiment that they're conducting. I'm
I
not
think
really
it's
sure.
probably a mixture of that. I think there's the whole you've got to take into account that main all the other consoles for the most part are dead in Japan. You know, PlayStation 5 is starting to pick up a little bit of steam. But it's mainly a Switch. Like Japan is mainly a Switch territory now. Like everybody has a Switch, so it's like I think from their perspective, it just makes sense to prioritize the Switch. And I think for a lot of Japanese developers, it makes sense to prioritize the Switch. But I think a lot of other companies, you know, are also like, yeah, and we'll make one for PS4 as well. I'm like, it just feels weird not to have a PS4 version of this game. It feels very bizarre. But it'll come. You know, Raincode is on PS5 and everywhere else now, and it was around a year, so I'm sure give this game a year and it'll
Yeah.
probably be all over the place too. But yeah, No Sleep for Kaname Date. It's a spin-off. It is a shorter game. It's roughly people are saying it's about half the length of a regular AI game, so it's, you know,
Oh man, this will be breezy.
yeah. What people have said, someone said it took them 20 hours and then somebody said it took them 12. So I'm like, okay, that let's go for somewhere in between. 12 and 20 is a pretty
Yeah,
drastic
I guess it
gap.
would depend on that is a lot. Like it would depend on like how much you want to sit there and examine everything for the extra flavor text or intentionally
Yeah,
do the
probably.
obviously wrong thing for the laughs. But
Yeah. We'll say 15, which is like half of an AI, because I feel like the AI games are usually around 25 to 30 hours. So that makes around
yeah, that's
about
about
sense.
right.
12 to 15 hours makes sense. Uh, Hunter, what is No Sleep for Kaname Date?
So it really is just like a silly little spin-off that's happening in between the events of the first two games. Um, the setup is Iris got abducted by aliens, seemingly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they kind of split the perspective to you get to play as Iris in these like escape room segments now, and while Date's doing the groundwork to try and track her down wherever she may have actually disappeared to. It's
And
essentially how it goes. There
it's an
doesn't
interesting
appear to
take.
be any kind of like split timeline extra.
Yeah.
There are I stumbled upon another like fake ending
Okay.
earlier, but I think that might just be like one of the ones. But it was one of the ones like in the other game when you ask the receptionist to go on a date over and over again. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
more like that one rather than like the four extras that clue you in on the actual
They get
mystery.
all 5 endings,
But
and then
it
you can
seems like
find the
this
tree,
one will
the
just be
true.
like a straight path
Yeah.
the whole time. Uh,
Oh, he's reaching. What is he reaching for? Look at him. I feel like get the props in frame, Hunter. My God, look at you go. Get that. I can't tell what he's doing.
the but yeah, the escape rooms with Iris are like the new thing um with the gameplay as far as it's taken like the Zero Escape series influence, I guess, with that.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely will you definitely won't run into the problem of it being too serious while
Oh,
you're
good.
doing that. So,
I mean, it's
you
got
know,
Iris in it already, which, you know, Iris is a interesting character to base stuff about that. I wouldn't say Iris is my favorite AI The Somnium Files character.
she's honestly on the bit of a lower end for me.
Yeah.
I don't hate her or anything, but it's usually just the other people are more interesting most of the time.
But yeah, so obviously the you've got the visual element. I assume you still got your investigation kind of element into the stuff with Date. I assume that's the main
Yeah,
two
yeah, you're
parts of
still
his.
controlling that. There's still the there's still somniums to go and do. Like one I did was in fact set up very interestingly as far as there's just a mystery pod that Mizuki found in the warehouse because there are only 7 locations in this world apparently.
Nice, yeah,
But
classic.
and it just had a note saying "sink me" on it. So
Hmm,
no, that's not sketchy at all. You don't know
yeah,
who's inside because you can't use the X-ray vision. It's made of tungsten or something.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, so that's nice. And the somniums, luckily, still function way more like they did in two, as far as there is actual cause and effect that can be,
yeah,
you know, managed instead of just hoping you choose the right thing, like in the first game.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, as far as like the escape room thing and being, introducing that new element, the first one at least was, a really solid introduction. I didn't feel like there was anything too outlandish, or like there was no how was I ever supposed to solve that kind of thing. Most of the most of the time, if I was running into an issue with it, it was just me trying to, I was just getting a little ahead of myself, trying to do something too
Mm-hmm.
early was all. Um, and Iris isn't on her own. She gets to talk to Date via some communicator that they give her. So you're not just sitting there listening to her inner monologue or whatever, which is nice because I think that would get old quickly.
Drain
Uh,
you, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, so I think that's nice. I think that it would be cool if this was some kind of experimentation where I wouldn't want like dedicated like this to be the one of the things that you're just always going back to doing in another game. But I do think that something like this could make the investigation segments in like an AI 3 more interesting
Yeah.
rather than just kind of walking around and looking at stuff. Maybe having like something to a little bit more purpose to do than just read your info while
Yeah,
you
I can see that.
outside of the somniums.
I can see that. I can see that. Um, Obviously, I forgot to mention, by the way, you're playing on Switch One, right? That's the copy you're playing.
Yes, I
I'm
am.
also playing it on Switch One because I refused to buy a game key card. So I was like, guess we'll go with the less optimized version. How's it running? Is it feeling all right?
Yeah, it seems fine so far. The only thing of notice, really, that I've.
The puppy is on our end, by the way. If you're wondering
Yeah,
what
I'm
that noise
sorry.
is, no, don't apologize. But there is a dog. Hunter has got a dog with him. So
Yeah,
if you hear that,
but as far as the yeah, I don't think I haven't seen like any drastic frame drops or anything. The one thing that's a little weird is like the portraits for the dialogue look a little crunchy,
they
which
will
is
do, dude. It's Switch
bizarre.
compression, though. It's Switch
Which is
compression.
bizarre because the models look fine. I think the models look as good as they have in the other games, at least.
It'll be something to do with the JPEGs are too big and they wanted to get it on a 16 gig card or something like that. So they were like, oh, we'll just make it a little bit crunchy. I guess that's what we'll just have to live with. Um, I think it's kind of lame. This is one of the things that I did want to point out about the game. I think it's kind of lame that Spike Chunsoft aren't just there's not an upgrade path. You can't even if it's just even if it was like $5, just hey, here's the Switch 2 version. I just think it's a bit scummy. Sega was also doing it for Sonic and Shadow Generations, where they were like, "Yeah, buy the whole game again." I'm like,
Yeah, that's not
it's just a bit
great
scummy. They've
because
learned their
I
lesson, by the way.
suspect
Sega has
part of
learned
it.
their lesson. They are with the new Sonic Racing game giving you a free upgrade, so it's like they've learned
No,
their lesson. But it just kind of feels like just put like there's the upgrade paths are on there. Just do a $5 upgrade path or something like that. Like
it feels like they blocked it off so it's more enticing to buy the
the
next
garbage game
version.
key card, dude. Yeah, they got the game key card nobody wants.
I was thinking more so like the equivalent of like Raincoat Plus or whatever they do for
Oh yeah,
the
true,
ports for the
maybe.
next one in a year.
I mean, the only thing it convinced me to do was like, oh, if you're gonna be like that, then I should have bought it on Steam. Which, to be honest, I was gonna buy this on Steam, but I got a good deal on the Switch cartridge because Amazon was giving me a discount. So that's why I haven't run to buy it somewhere else because I'm like getting it for like half price. So I'm like, I'll deal with the crunchy JPEGs for half the price. Why not? Um, but yeah, so it seems to run all right, and obviously you're playing it on Switch 2 anyway, so you'll get that frame rate boost anyway. So if the word drops, in theory, on original hardware, you should be fine. So I won't worry about it too
Yeah.
much. Um, how's everything from? I assume because here's the thing: is it's like you've got to respect it about a lot of these Japanese games. I love the shit out of this with Yakuza, where you were mentioned it with the with the garage where it's like the same 7 locations. Is it still like that? Is it very
Yeah,
Yakuza pilled where you're still going to the mermaid and all the classic
yeah.
locations?
We during the initial Where's Iris investigation, we have so far hit Hitomi's house, the talent agency, the diner,
Yeah.
and then Sunfish Pocket. before
Nice.
Mizuki before going to the warehouse.
Yeah.
So that is
All the
most of them.
highlights. Yeah.
It's funny too because like there were new locations in the second game and whatnot, but for all of the asset reusing, this all just exclusively game one stuff so far.
Is it because they don't want to spoil too much of two, or because it's technically not happened yet? I don't know what their logic is behind
Like,
this, to be honest.
yeah, I
I
don't know
genuinely
because
don't
it's not
know.
like those locations, or it's not like a bunch of those locations wouldn't exist already. But um, they did have a nod to two with during the diner. There was something about there was a little reference to what's his name, the other chef.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember what his name
He's
is.
voiced by Rosidi. I don't remember Gen. Gen's his name. There
Oh,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah,
There was like a little reference to that in like the flavor text if you examined one of the menus or something. But yeah, it is just so far we've been hitting those places, which I don't mind. I don't really expect them to take me to new places every time with one of these until like, you hit something important.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing is it's one of these games, right? It's a spin-off game, it's a cheaper title. They are obviously, they're focusing a lot of their efforts on the new Somniums in this escape room section. So it's like, yeah, I doubt that they were going to do that. And I was 100% of the opinion that 99% of the characters were just going to be reused characters from the original games. There'll be one or two new characters here or there, but I'm sure most of them will be returning people.
Yeah. So
Um,
far there are two new ones. There's the lady with the third eye that's
mhm.
on the cover, seemingly is like the antagonist. She's the one that she appeared on a screen to tell Iris, you know, try and solve the puzzles to escape or whatever.
Yeah.
And then because I guess Pewter's on probation or something in the canon of the
Oh,
story,
yeah.
there's also a lady who's taking up sinking duties for now.
No, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Uh, I don't know. Anything else you want to bring up? I don't know what to question really.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Like so far, I don't. It's funny with this thing because I'm not like straight on like the. I'm less intent on trying to solve whatever mystery they're throwing at me right now
Mm,
because whatever it is, it's smaller scale because I
doesn't
don't
matter.
suspect that they
No.
can really make it affect anything. I'm sure I'll hone in a little bit more the further I get, but right now it's more of like, oh, just kind of vibing in the world of Somnium Files, which is nice because, the bickering between Date and Iba is just always an entertaining one, dynamic to be going through. And being able to bring that with you to the, escape room section too is also nice because having them still be two-thirds of the dialogue is helpful.
Yeah, it's always a weird one. It's always a weird one. Like I say, I'm grateful that we're getting another little mini thing like this, but I'm also just like, it's in a very weird place where it's like, oh yeah, we've set it between the first two games, which already didn't have a long time span between them. They were already pretty back to back, regardless, in most of the
Until they
timeline.
weren't, yeah.
Yeah, until they weren't. But you know what I mean? Like it's like they filled in most of the blanks between the game in two anyway. So it's like there's a very weird there's like there's like a month or two that we maybe don't know about between one and two that wasn't already elaborated on. It's like, yeah, I guess we'll just chuck it in there, maybe. Like,
Yeah, and they kind of got to know that because the setup for this is nothing. The setup for this is literally something that could have happened in the first game.
yeah. But hey, it's there. Do you think over and under? Do you think spin-offs have enough budget for a really terrible music number at the end?
They haven't introduced it yet because that's the whole thing with the dance party at the end was both times it was a song that they throw at you the whole game.
Well, we'll
So
have to find
there's
out.
there's not one of those yet. I wouldn't put it past them to just do Iris's song from one again, though.
Don't tell me, because I won't start the game if you say yes. Um, I assume like from this point, it's really hard to review visual novels without actually having fully beat them because for the most
Yeah,
part, the gameplay is very similar. You're there for the story, and you can't really review the full picture without actually having played it. But from the little bit that you've played, it's more Somnium Files.
yeah. So if you like Somnium Files, then this is worth your time. If you're interested in Somnium Files, I'd recommend starting with the other two because this one very much just assumes that you know what it is and plays it and like it.
And I mean, you can get them all over the place. They are Somnium 1 and 2 are on everything, and they go on sale super cheap all the time. I own both of them on PlayStation and Steam, I believe, because they've been that cheap multiple times that I just keep buying them. Because why not? But yeah, I mean, go and check it out. And then, yeah, if you don't have a Switch or a Switch 2 or Steam, wait a year. It'll probably come to PlayStation and Xbox a little bit later, knowing them. But yeah, it's cool to see it back. Please make a third one, like a proper third one, though.
Now that they've
Spike,
made a spin-off, I
please.
don't think they can end it here. Like they have to make at least a three.
You'd think, but I'm also just
You
sitting
can't you
there,
can't end it on a spin-off.
I know, but I'm
That'd be
like,
messed up.
please just make a third one because, yeah, they're very good. They're very good. Uh, right then, let's move on. Nintendo Directs, Hunter. They come, they go. We didn't have a June one this time, but we're having one at the end of July. If you're wondering why we're not covering the Pokemon Presents that happened, that's a very simple answer. Nothing ever happens at Pokemon Presents. Me, Hunter, and I both know this. We didn't even bother watching it. So Kyle did, and he said nothing happened. And he's definitely look. He's not here, so you can't tell me otherwise. So he's gone. So we're gonna just help directly into this Nintendo Direct. If you are unaware, Nate the Hate and VGC have both said that there's a direct coming up this week imminently that's going to heavily focus on third-party support for the rest of the year, which I think is a given because I think that for the most part, there's been a couple of games here and there. I know Borderlands 4 said that it was having a Switch 2 edition. I know that there was a couple of,
Oof.
but most of the publishers that you would expect to show up either haven't yet or they have and they've got nothing set in stone. It's like they showed Elden Ring and they just left. They didn't say anything about it. You've got Atlas is just completely missing, whereas you think they would show up because Sega likes shoving everything on Switch.
Yeah, it's weird,
So
isn't it?
you've got a load of third parties. Activision, there was the whole Call of Duty will be coming to the next generation of Switch. Will Black Ops 7 be the first? Will it be the next one? Like, we don't have a lot of questions. The real question is who cares about Call of Duty on Switch? Because let's be real here. If you already are in those Call of Duty minds, you've probably already got a console to play it because it's the only thing you play. But,
Yeah.
oh well. There's Ubisoft hasn't announced anything coming to Switch really yet properly. Like, there's a load of questions, right? So I think for the most part, I don't know, Hunter, what are you feeling on this direct? I think it's going to be a lot of stuff we already know about that's getting dated. That's what I feel like this direct
Yeah,
is going to be.
that's about the size of what I'm expecting too, is a bunch of things that maybe like one new announcement that's like, genuinely didn't know about before and might be cool.
I
Like,
think this is the time where you hear, like, I think my bold prediction, we'll talk about third party games we'd like to see on Switch 2 in a little bit. But in terms of first party, when we think about Nintendo, right, when we think about the rest of 2025 for Nintendo, right, you've got essentially three big games. Sorry, Drag X Drive, but you've got three big games
yeah.
that are scheduled to still be coming out that aren't like the Nintendo Switch 2 editions and haven't got dates. And those three are obviously Metroid Prime 4, the one everybody cares about,
Yeah.
Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, the Psychos will probably buy that one, and Kirby
I'll
Air
probably get
Riders that is likely to sell 2 copies, and one of them will be Sakurai, and he'll be very pleased in himself.
it.
Um, you've got three games there, and I think all three will get a date because I think you just got to. You got to get the ball moving, quite literally with Samus, get that morph ball moving into a
Yeah.
release date that is hopefully before November. That's my hope for that one. I would like to be playing that sooner rather than later. Um,
Yeah, I
what
don't know. I don't know if it was like mid-November, Metroid for my
I'm
birthday.
telling
It
you
would
now,
be
dude,
that.
this is the problem though,
It'd
is
be
in my
that.
head, Hunter, I am locked in where I'm like, Age of Imprisonment is November and Kirby is December. Like, that is my head canon right now. Is like, that feels like that's how that's going to work, you know? Age of Calamity was a November title, if I remember correctly, back in the day, wasn't it? Um, I'd have to have a double check. I also don't know if Hunter can hear me because I think Discord issues might have resurfaced again. So I will do my best to keep the ball moving. Age of Calamity came out on the 20th of November. Hooray! So I think that's a lock. I genuinely think you'll get Age of Imprisonment in November for Switch 2. I think that's pretty much a given. I think Kirby, when you're thinking, Sakurai's games have a tendency to come out around that time. Smash Ultimate came out in December of 2018. Are you back, Hunter?
I am, yeah.
Yeah,
You're thinking
cool.
December for Kirby?
I'm thinking December for Kirby, and I think it's a lock that Hyrule Warriors comes out in November because the last one came out in November, so it just makes sense for it to follow that exact same pattern.
It did,
Uh,
didn't it?
yeah.
I don't know why, but that felt like a December thing.
No, it was the 20th of November, 2020. I looked it
Oh
up while you
man,
were in the
happy
dead
birthday to
mines.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
happy birthday to you. Maybe you'll get a second one. Lucky you. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, it sounds like I'm getting Call of Duty on mine, so yeah. So yeah, that's the thing. Is to me, it's like Metroid is the big where does it go, but like November and December in my mind are filled. So it's like you've got three shots here. You've got October, September, and August. It's too late for August. um,
That would be cuckoo bananas if they just had a Switch Direct, or if they had a Direct next week and were like, "Hey, Metroid's out in 3 weeks."
yeah, and I mean
That'd be
You've
silly.
got Kirby and the Forgotten Land coming out in August as well. So you've got little bits and pieces. So the main months are September and October. What do you think, Hunter? September or October? Where are you placing it?
I would be more inclined to think October.
I'm in the same ballpark. I think it would be,
Wait.
Oh no,
You see,
Pokemon's in
that's always
October.
my yeah. That's
Pokemon's in
my knee-jerk
October.
reaction every time, and then because I don't care about Pokemon, I always forget about that.
But Pokemon is later in October. It could be like an October 2nd. It could go against Yote. It could go against
Oh,
Yote.
fun. If it does, that would be funny because I'm absolutely not gonna pick up Yote right away if it does.
It could though. Like that doesn't seem
Yeah,
to me to be like crossing paths. I think that they'd both be
I don't think
fine.
Nintendo would really care either.
Yeah. Um.
Like for all of Metroid's, audience not being that big or whatever,
Mhm.
um, I don't really think Nintendo is ever looking for it to like bust the doors down most of the time.
Yeah. It's. I think they're perfectly fine. They've done this multiple times throughout their tenure where they do just dump games on the same weeks as other things, and they just like, yeah, well, it'll Nintendo fans will buy whatever they feel like whenever they feel like, so I don't think we have to worry about it.
Yeah,
Um, Also, Metroid Prime 4 is one of those games where people have been literally waiting decades for this video game, if not since it was announced in 2017. Just the idea of a Metroid Prime 4 has been lingering in people's minds since the Wii. So it's like, I feel like the hardcore fans are going to show up for Metroid Prime 4 as soon as it comes out, regardless. So I don't think they have anything to worry about. Um, as for everything else, I think that it's weird. To me, Pokemon is obviously the big holiday title. That's what you just got to get into your head is Pokemon is what they're expecting to do well. It's the Switch bundle. You just got to hope that that's what they're riding there. Kind of that's what they're leading with. That's what we've got to deal with. Um,
yeah.
I think Kirby and Hyrule will be fine, but I don't see them as really big hitters. I wouldn't be shocked if they tried to if there was another Switch 2 edition or two that maybe were trying to come up in the holiday period and maybe January. This is around the time where they usually announce their January game because they did they announced the Donkey Kong Country Returns Switch port in like the June Direct for January. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
they tend to
It
do
seems a
that.
lot more plausible for them to start doing this when it's also the end of July instead of the middle of June, too. Because, like, what do you mean Donkey Kong is a thing that's coming out and has been dated 6 months ahead of time?
Yeah,
That seems
100%.
weird.
Um,
But
so I think I don't know what if I'm a betting man. I don't know if I'd be willing to put a bet on this one too, but I think there's a relatively strong likelihood you'll get at least one new Nintendo Switch 2 edition announced for uh the next 6 months or so, because really after Kirby that is it. There's no more Switch 2 editions announced. Obviously other than Pokemon, which is a day and date, and Metro, which is a day and date, but I think there's a likelihood. I don't know why. In my head, I think that my gut is saying that it would be Mario Wonder would be my gut guess, because they've had this weird thing. They've been doing some weird things with the cartridge recently. Like there's been patches and stuff that aren't. It's not actually been enhanced like some other games have, and that feels like a lock in on a game that should have been enhanced for Switch 2 in a free update.
you would think
So
so.
that seems like a fact. In my heart of hearts, dude, you know what I would like? Give me a Xenoblade. Yeah,
Yeah,
give me a
yeah.
Xenoblade. Give me a Fire Emblem Three Houses Switch 2 edition. Like, give me something like that, and I'll be happily satisfied. But I don't
My
know.
first guess would be like Mario Odyssey, just off of like,
They did the free update though, didn't they? They did the free patch to
yeah.
make it HD. I feel like anything that's had that is like a lock, and they're like, yeah, we're not going to touch that now. So that's why I look at those Xenoblade games. Like, it's very weird. Monolith loves doing way too much. So it's weird that they haven't enhanced any of the Xenoblade games at all. That's just weird to me because they just do. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a couple of free patches as well. Like Splatoon 3 got a random patch. Maybe Splatoon Raiders is that early 2026 game. And they just announced
Oh,
that as a date.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
Maybe that's it.
that would that would make a lot of sense. Actually, that would still feel kind of new to some people if they're since it was just a random Twitter announcement.
Yeah. So maybe it's that. I think another big thing that I think it's about time that you'd start to hear. I wouldn't be surprised if there is a little bit of DLC for Mario Kart World. I feel like you start pumping up that a little bit because people are going to start getting
Um,
stale. People are already in a bad mood with it. I
yeah,
think it's
I'd
time
sure
to start
rather them
turning the
start that
narrative.
now than let the game simmer for 7 years and then
hmm
uh push the button.
I mean, it's obvious. You'd think they'd be doing a Donkey Kong expansion. You'd think that'd be the first thing they've done, considering you think with the new game coming out, you'd think they maybe would add the Void Crew or stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe a couple of maps based on Ingot Isle and all of that jazz. Maybe that'd be a cute. I add a little Ingot Isle island and maybe a track on it. That'd be a cute little idea. Who knows?
You could do an entire goofy knockout tour thing going
Down
across
the
all the
layers, that'd be sick, dude.
yeah.
That'd be a great idea.
Yeah, hire this man, Nintendo.
Yeah, do it, do it. Um, in terms of everything else from Nintendo, I don't. Here's the thing: is it's such a weird time to have a direct because we usually have the September direct. Does this mean we don't get a September direct this year? It
I would assume
feels
not.
it feels because here's the thing, right? Is September directs you usually get a hint at something that is big that's coming in 2026. Like for example, Animal Crossing was announced in a September direct.
Yeah.
Uh, there's usually a hint of something. Uh, I don't know, Hunter. If you think that they had to do one more thing, something that hasn't been announced yet, what franchise do you think is going to be next to come to Switch 2 in the next year? What do you think it would be?
So like the the general like knee jerk response would usually be Mario,
It's too
but
soon though. It's
that
like
doesn't
yeah.
feel right in this case.
It's too soon for
So
Zelda as well. Unless they were doing like an Ocarina remake. Like
yeah,
this feels like it's too because Grezzo's only just done Echoes of
yeah,
Wisdom
they've
like
only
last year as
just done
well.
Echoes of Wisdom last year. Um,
I like it's a
and like
difficult
if
one.
it's and if it's not like a actually it's short of being an Ocarina of Time remake, and it wouldn't be another new. 3D Zelda game either, because be serious.
Yeah.
But um yeah, like short of that, they tend to hold the smaller scale stuff kind of like it'll probably like I wouldn't be shocked if there was some Zelda related thing out next year, but they're not going to announce it until like the first direct next year.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, I wouldn't expect a Smash Bros. Because it's like, if you were expecting something like that, that's like a January direct. You hear about that in January and it's coming out in December and they ride that wave the entire year. You know, I don't think that's something that you just kind of
Yeah.
shrug out. Um, I still think it's early. I think it's too early for an Animal Crossing. I think I love Animal Crossing to death. I think Animal Crossing is a game that you put out when you have a bigger audience. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
I think 2 or 3 years is the perfect time to release an Animal Crossing. Like I think New Horizons for the most part came out at a great time for an Animal Crossing to come out. Um, Not just because of COVID, just because of the
Yeah,
actual life
yeah.
cycle.
Circumstances aside,
Do you know what my big?
it
Do
still
you
would
know
have
what my? Do you know what I guess would be, Hunter, for a game that could be announced now for a 2026 release date for Switch 2? A Fire Emblem game.
been.
It's been
Yeah.
long enough, and I think that that's one of those things where people who are into Fire Emblem will be like, "Oh yeah, get the fuck in," and the people that don't like Fire Emblem are gonna cry about it anyway. So just rip the Band-Aid off. You know, it's probably
Yeah, yeah.
maybe that's what they would roll with. I don't know. It's weird.
The wheels of Fire Emblem do spin pretty relentlessly.
I mean, I would just take an update for three houses at this point, if I'm honest with you, or a remake, like an
Yeah.
Awakening remake. We've been saying it for a while, but an Awakening remake would be fantastic.
There's that other older one that's
Path of the
been rumored to
Radiance,
be.
was it?
No,
Oh,
that one's coming to the GameCube or whatever. But there's been one with a goofy name that's like, I don't know, one of those like similar to like Dragon Quest Echoes of an Elusive Age kind of
oh yeah,
titles
yeah, yeah.
where it's been rumored to have a remake forever now. So, it probably was wrong, but you know how that goes. Uh,
Maybe
but
that's
yeah,
fair.
Fire Emblem that wouldn't be out of the realm of plausibility. Uh,
Because everyone else, I think it's still too early. I think it's too early for a Monolith game. I think it's too early for a Zelda game. It's way too early for 3D Mario. I think it's too early for Smash Bros. I think it's like it's a weird one where it's like I wouldn't be surprised, if I'm honest with you, if Rhythm Heaven and Tomodachi Life are the early 2026 releases. If you get Rhythm Heaven in like March and you get Tomodachi Life in May, like something like that, that wouldn't surprise me.
yeah, yeah, that wouldn't be
And they
too
use
shocking. That
those as an
wouldn't be.
excuse of to keep something big like Smash for
Yeah,
a January reveal.
yeah, it wouldn't be too shocking if those got dates for this thing even now.
Hmm,
Uh,
we'll see. We'll see. Anything else to expect from Nintendo? I assume you might get an NSO update of here's some GameCube games that are definitely coming in the next couple of months. Um,
that'd be nice. Uh,
I don't think like in terms of Nintendo, I think that's like the three big dates and a couple of surprises, maybe a Nintendo Switch 2 edition mixed in between. And I think that's probably what you're gonna get. Um,
yeah,
but hey, that's fair enough. Maybe Luigi's Mansion. But I feel like Luigi's Mansion is they'll
that
make a
doesn't feel
Luigi's
like
Mansion
something
4,
you'd
but why would you
announce.
announce that in July when it's not going to be if it's like you announce that the year it's coming out. you don't you
Yeah,
don't announce
it
that
feels
a
like a
year away.
weird thing to announce a year ahead of time is the only problem. Because I wouldn't be shocked to see a Luigi's Mansion next year.
Next October. Yeah, that sounds about
Yeah,
right? Then Gen 10 in November. That sounds about right. Who knows? Um Third party. What do you think, Hunter? The big one that I think you're gonna see is I think that you'll get a Persona game, like Persona 3 Reload. I think that'll probably be something like or Metaphor. It'll be one of those two.
yeah, or Metaphor. I could see it being either one of those. What was it? Final Fantasy VII was claimed to
Yep.
be coming. I could
Elden
see
Ring
that
2.
happening.
Elden Ring probably might get a date, especially because the Bloodborne 2 isn't coming out till next year. I can't remember what Duskbloods, that's it. Um
Duskbloods.
it's got a date for next year, so maybe they probably want to get Elden Ring out before that.
Yeah,
Um in terms of third party, I wouldn't be surprised if Ubisoft tries to release an Assassin's Creed Shadows wouldn't surprise me, if I'm honest with you. I feel like Ubisoft is just trying to make as much money on something as possible. So they've like, or an Origins or an Odyssey or a Valhalla, like one of the older ones.
Yeah, I could see either of those. I wouldn't be shocked if they tried to even use or even port some of the other games that no one seems to like
Oh,
the Star
Syndicate.
Wars out.
Oh,
Or
Star
no,
Wars
I meant
Outlaws.
like yeah, or
Yeah, yeah.
even the stupid Avatar game that came out a couple of years ago. Be like squeeze as much blood from the stone as they can there, since apparently they're not gonna make they're gonna squash Outlaws where it is and move on to focusing on other things
Maybe a Far Cry.
anyway. So yeah,
Yeah, something like that.
Ugh.
I think you'll get plenty of slop. I think you'll
Imagine
get.
playing Far Cry on a Switch.
Yeah, dude, like that's a cry for help. That is. You know what also is a cry for help? Playing Borderlands. Period. But Borderlands 4 will probably get a
Yeah.
date. That wouldn't surprise me. Um, I think here's my in terms of COD. I mentioned it earlier. I think my big prediction for COD is it's not this year. I think it'll be the next Call of Duty. I think it's a bit too soon. Um, I just don't see it. I feel like they would have made a big deal about it already if COD was coming day and date for Switch 2 the first year it has
Yeah,
the opportunity
probably.
to. Um, so I wouldn't really expect it. I wouldn't be surprised to show if Xbox shows up here. That wouldn't surprise me if there's an Xbox game that's
Oh yeah, yeah.
coming over. Sea of Thieves would be a one that I wouldn't be shocked to see move over. They try and do the whole look. It's Rare. Rare's back on a Nintendo platform for the first time in a while. Like
And then
that's
everyone tells them to shut up because we know what you did. But
yeah,
yeah,
something
um,
along those lines.
yeah, I wouldn't be shocked or honestly, like if not, it. I feel like it'd be weird to announce here, but like Keeper seems like something that would be good on Nintendo,
Yeah,
but I don't think it would be coming out, simultaneously. But announcing your intent, I guess, would be fine to port it.
yeah. It's a weird one. Like I think the issue you have obviously with Xbox is, I feel like a lot of them are stuff that are footnotes. Like I'd love to see a lot of I'd love to see Forza on Switch if they could get it to run on Switch. I think that'd be a fantastic little thing. Uh it'd be a great portable game. Um I think there's a lot of stuff from Xbox and I think you'll see it. I don't know
Oh,
how quickly you will see stuff from them.
new version of Skyrim.
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
classic, the classic.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's something. There's at
Do you
least
know
an
what,
obvious
Hunter?
joke
I'll
to
do you
make
one
here.
better. I'll do you one better, Hunter. Fallout 4. They'll do the PS4
Uh
Bethesda game instead of the PS3 one. That's what they'll do.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. They can move up one step forward now, can't they?
I think it's a I. I'm just saying this because of the Copium Hunter. I think it's a lock because this has been rumored for a while now. I think you'll see Red Dead Redemption 2 because that was a game that everybody seems to be talking about. And I'm just mainly saying that because Ethan wants his PS5 60 FPS port. That's what Ethan wants. Uh, So I think you'll see Red Dead because Red Dead has been rumored for a long time to be getting an update this year and it coming to Switch 2. And I think that'd be great because who doesn't love Red Dead? Who doesn't love Red Dead?
Yeah, that's true.
Like I say, I think Atlas will be releasing everything on Switch 2. Like get ready because it's like Persona 4 Revival will be coming to Switch 2, Persona 6 will be coming to Switch 2, like everything Atlas does. So it's like it's just a matter of what shows up, not if it shows up at this
Yeah,
stage.
yeah. I think that
Um
Reload or Metaphor are the two that make the most sense to do,
I think yeah,
make a
I
big
would
thing about.
I'd put money on it being Reload. That would be my money bet just because I think they would like I feel like it'll be like a staggered thing where they'll do Persona 3 first and because of Revival coming out potentially at some point in the next year or so, maybe they'll want to get the Persona game out first and then have Metaphor be in the middle so it doesn't just feel like you're just getting bombarded with Persona. Like maybe that's the
Yeah, yeah.
the strategy there. Um any other third party things that you can obviously there'll be plenty of indies. Do you want to play
Yeah,
do you want to
yeah.
play
There
do
are
you
a
want to play the
couple of
Heads or Tails of the Hollow Knight Silk Song? Go for it. What's the answer?
not here. I think of
Really?
the big indies that we're waiting on. If we were to get a date for anything, Hades 2, they just went into like their latest,
The final
what
update.
they're
The
claiming is
final.
their final early access update. So if
That's
that
a good
means they'll
shout.
be ready this year, that would be, it seems way more possible. I had begun to accept that it was going to come out next year.
I think that's a great prediction. I think that here's what I'll say about Hollow Knight is I feel like it'll just show up. I think it'll just do its own thing at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if it was at the direct because it showed up for 5 seconds randomly in the sizzle reel, but it doesn't seem like
Yeah, you got
Xbox
a point.
has the marketing ties to it that Xbox is going to announce it because Xbox doesn't have another showcase for the rest of the year.
I'm
So
also sitting here trying to like head game this in a way. Hollow Knight just doesn't seem to play by any rules that people think it would,
yeah,
where it just shows up for 5 seconds in a sizzle reel or
yeah,
for a minute in a background of a thing that it's not even focusing on Hollow
yeah.
Knights, it's focusing on the goofy machine that Xbox is trying to sell you.
So that wouldn't
So
surprise me if it did. If they did
yeah, I
just have it
wouldn't
in a
be
direct.
shocked. I feel like the thing I'm more kind of not expecting is like any new information beyond
No,
visual, something you
no.
could visually observe.
I think it would be. I think if it does show up, it'd be a very quick trailer and then a date, and then it's just like, there you go. There's the date. Now fucking leave us alone. Like I feel like that'll be the. I feel like that'll be the thing. Like that. That would be great. Like obviously they're not Toby Fox. That's what I would do. If I was like a Toby Fox kind of indie developer and someone was after me, I would literally just put it, I would send to Nintendo, here's our trailer, and it's just a JPEG of of the Hornet and then just the date and then just go fuck off. Like that's it. There you go. There's the date.
That would be funny.
Just have Hornet walk on screen with a date and then there you go. Don't even say it's Hollow Knight Silk Song, just leave it that. There you go. Just have it like that. I think you'll get plenty of third party stuff here. I don't know.
Yeah,
It feels like I said. It
I could
depends if we
even
get the
see it being
September.
this weird thing where like one of those random third parties that you're not like a couple years ago when they did when there was the segment for the Metal Gear Solid collection in the Nintendo Direct, and I
Yeah,
wasn't expecting that.
100%.
Like, so yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if like the silly Mortal Kombat collection that's happening got a spot here.
I also wouldn't be surprised if, say, Metroid is September, October for them to announce that they're doing a Metroid Direct that comes like 3 or 4 weeks afterwards. That wouldn't
Oh
surprise me.
yeah, yeah.
Um, there's plenty of stuff that you can you can sit there and dream about. Hunter, if you could have your way, if you could wish one thing into this Nintendo Direct, what would it be? What would you wish?
Mhm. Good question, because like I'd want because like the ones that I'd be most likely to ask for are the ones that I feel like are actually going to be there, like Metroid's date
Yeah,
and stuff. So I don't know. I guess we'll go with the Hades
the 82
release
release
date.
date.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I don't know what mine would be in all honesty. It would probably it would my magic one would be they just announced that they're doing the Switch 2 updates for the Xenoblade trilogy. That would be my and X.
Oh
That would
yeah.
be my kind of magic wand. Um, I love those games and I want to play X. Like I want to give X a try eventually, but I feel like it just needs a Switch 2 update. If I have to buy a Switch 2 edition, fair enough, or an upgrade pack, I'll happily do that. I just kind of like Xenoblade 2, dude. Like I feel like that would just be a glow up going from what 140p to 1080. Like that's what I'll take, dude. That game looks like it's been smudged the entire time.
Oh
But
yeah, I got the
that'd be
Vaseline
the
on the
Vaseline
camera, or
screen,
whatever
yeah.
you described the for Rebirth last year.
That's pretty much it. Also, if I had to bet on an indie announcement, just to move us into the next topic, Blueprints. That'd be my indie guess of if there's a game that's just randomly being announced to coming to Switch 2,
Yeah.
because it seems like it'd be a good fit. Which leads us to our final topic of the show, ladies and gentlemen. I've been it'll be a short one, I promise you. I've just been playing Blueprints. Finally, I did get into it. Finally, and it's pretty good. I'm shocked to report, guys. Yeah, it's pretty good. Um,
It's as good as they claimed,
yeah,
at least some of them.
yeah, it's a weird one, right? Where it's like I'm just trying to get to the end. So that's like, and when I say the end, it's like I want to see that cutscene and then roll the credits. I do not care about that's just the tutorial. Very cool. I'm happy for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I'm already
Yeah,
sitting there.
it's nice that
Look,
you can play the game for 700 hours, but some people have other things to do.
mhm. I'm already sitting there. I'm already sitting there mumbling to myself, playing and paying and trying to figure out what these things mean. Um, and I'm like I'm 90. I'm at the point now where I know what the solution is. I just need to get it all to line up in a run. And I was saying to Hunter, I had a run that I just got shafted on the final draft pick, and I was very annoyed,
It
and
was heartbreaking.
it was very heartbreaking. Um, I just think it's a very well crafted video game. It is meticulous in its puzzle design, and what I mean by that is it's it honestly, the first couple of days that you play it, you'll just feel like you're loitering around and you have no kind of goal. You're just like, okay, I don't understand how this works, but you'll suddenly you'll just find a thread and you'll start pulling at it and just finding once you find your first thread and you understand how the game kind of works, that kind of gives you just enough information to work on it,
Get
you
you to the
know.
next thing.
Yeah. I very much I originally when this game came out back in was it February or January? I don't remember. It was an early release.
I think it was
Was it
March.
March? Um
Yeah,
I did like two
maybe
runs.
very early April. I don't remember
I did
exactly.
I did like my day one where I was like, okay, this is interesting. And the second day I absolutely got shafted. It was the 10th
Mm,
of April. Wow, that game came out way later than I thought it did. But yeah, so it's like I just kind of gave up on it. I was like, I don't get it. I'm just not.
mm,
I'm not built for this. And coming back to it, you know, I'd seen other people playing it. I never saw any of the puzzle solutions, but I'd seen a lot of like people like Northern Line just wandering about, just screaming random nonsense that I had no clue what they were getting on about really, and just going, this game is crazy. And you know, people were still talking about it so positively. I was like, I'm gonna give it. I've got a couple of days. I'm gonna just give it the good college try. Like I'm just gonna give it a go, see what happens. Um, and it just kind of started clicking. It was like one of those things where I was like, I actually did what the game suggested. I got a notebook and I started writing stuff down. I don't know if this is, I don't know what is spoilers and what isn't spoilers. It's pretty spoilery. If you don't want spoilers for Blueprints, then do not look at this current notebook. My handwriting is dog shit anyway, but it's like, you know, I just started writing notes down, like squares and like cryptographs, and starting properly getting into it. And that's
yeah,
when it started actually feeling like a video, like it started feeling like good. That's when it started feeling good, was when I actually was making notes and trying to figure it out. Um, you just end up doing stuff where it's like, oh, I recognize that from this room, and then I go into that room, like, oh, it was right there in front of me the whole time. I didn't ever think something that was very obnoxious, like just you know, I just thought, oh, that's a very intricate piece of glass. I never thought that that would mean anything. And then 20 hours, like, you know, 20 runs in, you're like, oh my God, that's what that's for. And then you go back and you keep adding to your notes and trying to figure it out. I think it's,
the game does a really good job at like presenting you with a couple different of those, as far as like, you know, if you, because of how random and specific some of these things are, you don't have to always, in order to solve thing A, there's not only a thing B to
Mhm.
look at to like get the solution. Usually there's like two or three other ones elsewhere as far as hints.
Yeah. And it's just like, I think what's crazy to me is like, just completely depends on your game your game playing style. You can completely avoid like so much of this game in terms of what there is around there, where it's like I didn't find the dartboard mini game until like day 13. I just for some reason never got that room in my draft pile.
Oh, that's
I
crazy.
had done the two truths and a lie puzzle about I've done it every day since day one. The billiards puzzle though, I did not find for a dozen days, which is crazy to me. Um so it's just like, going through it and it's like is it at the point like there's it was like I think this game what's brilliant about this game is yes there's a bit of luck dependency on where you're building stuff at I was expressing frustration to Hunter yesterday about how it's like I know what I need to do but the game's not giving me anything, so it's like I can't do anything right now, and then literally the next run it finally gave me that piece that I needed. I'm like there we go, and it's given me it's given me a guiding path again where it's like okay I see the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe tomorrow I'll start playing and I don't get any successful runs. Who knows? But I think the game really, once you start to figure out how to correctly lay out your house and where you should go with it, I think there is enough variety in the deck and the build where it's like you don't have to. It's not as RNG dependent as you think it might be.
There are ways to make it. There are ways to work around the RNG. I feel like you can have that thing you're waiting for,
Yeah.
but there are ways to keep yourself from being screwed over while you're waiting for it.
You'll always have a bad run. I'll go through my house history, and every 3 or 4 runs there'll be a run where I get to like level 3 and I've just absolutely just been cornered in everywhere and I've learned nothing, and you just kind of go, oh well, guess I'll have the next one. And then the
Yeah,
next
there
run I'll
were
be all the way to the top and I'll filled in every room, and it's like okay, cool. I've learned something here. There's always something, You'll just start to corner. You'll know. Okay, I need to place I need to place a load of these corner pieces, like these storerooms, early. Just get them out of the way so they don't crop up later. You know,
It also gives you a quick lead on things like keys and stuff. That
keys are still my nightmare, dude. I finally got an upgrade for my storeroom that will give me 2 keys when I open it, and I'm like, thank the heavens, because I needed that. Because keys are my kryptonite at times. Uh, I'm just sitting there with so many locked doors, and I'm like, ah. But I think the game does a really good job. I think that you'll eventually. There are some rooms that I very rarely see, but the game doesn't tell you this, but the game seems to look at what you seem to use quite a bit, and if it I always seem to find security eventually. I always seem to find the breaker room eventually. I don't
it's
always
hilarious
find some
sometimes
like
because a lot of times I'll be finding security when it's too little, too late, man. Like I'm on my last, and like either I've already worked around not having security now, or
yeah,
it's like I'm just kind of filling things out while I've got steps, even though I've bricked my way out of the antechamber.
yeah. I think that the game does a pretty good job. Like I say, there's just the build potential is, very vast. I was telling you, Hunter, that I found an upgrade that turned my like my one of my corridors into basically a play where every time I draft the corridor, the next day I get an extra corridor added to my pool. So it's just got to the point now where I get 5 of them, and I'm like, this is great, because even if
Yeah,
I have a garbage
I
run
wish I
now, I
had
just
got that
always make
one.
sure to place it down early, because then the next run I'll have even more of them. Just because I never want to see the stupid dark room or the whatever it's the archive ever again. Get those
Yeah.
awful rooms out of there. But I think it's great. I think it really is quite a feat, especially because again, it's one of those indie games where it's just been made by one guy, and you're just like,
One guy in a genre that's, you know, super saturated right now.
yeah,
Like everything is either a Souls-like or a roguelike these days, and this is
true,
one that is a roguelike and still manages to be very unique because of what he brought to the structure. He looked at that and went, I can make the structure work for me rather than trying to just make something that follows the, you know.
I think what's also brilliant about this game is it took him 10 years to make this. He started working on it in 2015. You can tell that this isn't a game that was following a trend. This wasn't a guy
Yeah,
that was
yeah, it
like,
was
oh,
just
roguelikes are hot right now. Let me make a roguelike real quick. No, this was a game that was supposed to be out in
guy probably played
2021.
like Spelunky once, or he probably liked Spelunky or something, and was like, You
He
know,
probably
what if
played
I made a
Spelunky and
game?
Myst and was like, "Hey, what if these two games were added to each other?" Like, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what came about. Um, but no, I think it's really impressive. I think it deserves all the roses that it has been uh, given. I think at this point, obviously Hades 2 or Hollow Knight Silksong might come out and shake up the race a little bit, but I think this is a shoe-in for the indie pick of Game of the Year at the moment.
yeah.
And even if Hades 2 and Silksong do come out, I I always like an underdog story, and I'll kind of be cheering along Blueprints. I think I love sequels; they're great, but I feel like if you've got two sequels and a really original concept, I'm always rooting for that original concept. Just because I'm like, oh, we haven't seen that before. That's
They
cool.
also have that extra category too, with like debut
Debut,
indie.
true,
Yeah,
true.
so it's not like they'd be. It's like even
Take
if
both; it'll be
Hades
funny.
and Hollow Knight do come out, it's not completely shafted out of an award.
True, true. But no,
Yeah.
I think it's great. If you haven't had a chance to play it, play it. It's a slow burn, but I think once it gets its hooks into you, I think it does a great job of giving you enough leads to keep going. But no, I'd highly recommend a notepad, or even just if you're playing on Steam. Steam has like a built-in notes app now where if you press Shift Tab, there's like a notepad that you can just start typing into, which I think is a great feature for games like this. Um,
Feature?
yeah. But just get a notepad, get a pen. It's everywhere. It's on PS Plus. It's on Game Pass. It's like I say, it'd be a great game for Switch. This would be a genuinely a great game for Switch, as well. But it's everywhere. You can get it wherever you feel like getting it. I'm playing it on Game Pass on PC at the moment because I needed an excuse to use my Game Pass subscription that I've restarted up for some reason.
Mhm.
What can I say? I love a good deal hunter. That's the thing is I'm sitting here now. I'm like, it's funny because like I use PlayStation the most. Like PlayStation is my most used just because I've got friends over there and stuff like that. So it's just my game library has built up on PlayStation. Uh,
Yeah.
like Switch is my single player console. PlayStation is my everything kind of my generic console, right? But it's like it's the one I by far pay the most for on my subscription because you can always get a deal on an SO because of family plans and all that jazz. Game Pass seems to there's always a
NSO is also
trick.
the
There's
cheapest at its highest level anyway.
Yeah, true. And Game Pass there's always a trick where it's like if you buy Xbox Core and then upgrade it to Ultimate, you get it at half the price. Like I think I did something where it's like if you get 3 years of EA Play and then convert it with Game Pass Ultimate, you get 13 months of Game Pass for roughly about £5 a month. And I'm like, yeah, that's a great deal. How come PlayStation is where I'm like paying stupid amounts of money for it?
It is
It's
silly. Like, yeah, like Xbox has always had amusing workarounds for, their Game Pass thing because, since like 2020, I've made a habit of once a year using Game Pass to play something that I don't want to wait for.
dude, the main reason I got an
And
Xbox Series X in 2021 was because the Game Pass, there was a model where, Game Pass was doing it was a 1-to-1 conversion of I can't, was it a 1-to-1? I think it was a 1-to-1 conversion where I ended up getting like 3 years of Game Pass Ultimate for roughly about $100.
oh man,
And I was like, yeah, what a deal that is. Now it's not as good a deal where I'm like sitting there and going, hey, how about $60 for a year? And I'm like, that still is pretty good. I'm not gonna complain about that.
yeah,
Especially
60
when
for a year isn't too absurd. I think it's
with Game Pass included, that's a pretty good deal. Whereas like,
yeah, yeah.
PS Plus Premium, PS Plus Premium, ladies and gentlemen, is the biggest like rip off of video games. There is no point. They release one PS1 game every 6 months and they expect you to pay
Literally,
£120
unless you're
for it.
about to marathon like one of the series that are already on it, like if you're a real big Siphon Filter fan and just viscerally need to play every game in the series
But at the
in
same
quick
time,
succession, buy like a
PlayStation, yeah.
month of that or something and then do that.
True,
I
but
would
also
never
like
recommend.
PlayStation, it's I've got to say fair play to them that it's very like consumer friendly that you can just buy the game straight out. Like I own the Sly trilogy again
Yeah.
because they're like £7 each or something like that. I think that's great. Um, but at the same time, it's like when you're releasing one game a year, like a month, It's like this was it this month where it's like Twisted Metal 3 and 4. I'm like, oh
Those
great.
are also games you should under no circumstances be buying. Oh, like
Or it's
those
just
are the
like,
ones
yeah,
that
or it's
aren't
just
as
like
good.
Daxter for the PSP, or the Jack game nobody likes, or Secret Agent Clank. And I'm like, bro, I will eventually play these because I like the franchises, but why? Please tell me why I'm paying like £3 extra a month for this. Like, it's absolute garbage. I think I'm gonna move down to extra next year. I think that's the strat.
Yeah, I've been on extra for at least a year or two now. Like I don't remember quite when the yeah, it would have been last year that it switched over because I was still playing Twisted Metal 2 in 2023. But yeah, because of like the PS Now, whatever goofy workaround there was for that before the rollover that everyone exploited. Uh
Bro, did you know? Right, this is gonna get. By the way, links are on. I'll put the links on screen real quick. Links are on screen around about now. Podcast is over if you do not care about frivolous subscription talk. Um, one thing I found out recently, which really annoys me, is people who, you know, when the subscriptions merged, there
yeah.
was some weird bug where people who just had PS Now and didn't have PS Plus got moved onto premium tier but kept their pricing from PS Now. So there are people out there who have PS Plus premium for about $50 a year. And it
That is
annoys
insane.
the hell out of me. If they
That's
ever try to cancel or move it, or update their payment method, change their payment method or whatever, it goes out the window. But it's like, if you had that link to PayPal or something, you are just good for the rest of your days at $50 a year, and it angers me.
that's that's cheaper than is that cheaper than the base price now, right?
Yeah,
Or
because Space Pass
yeah.
is like $70 a year or something. It's
Yeah, I couldn't
ridiculous.
remember.
It annoys the heck out of me because I had PS Plus and
Oh
PS
man.
Now, so I'm like, if I didn't have PS Plus, it's fine. But I just sit there and I'm like, my God, what a life you lead. Um, Fair play, but I just sit there. I'm like, I'm angry because I'm like, I don't like paying. Like, it's like £120 a year for PS Plus Premium. I'm like, bro, I don't get anything out of that.
That's also stupid, and apparently enough people do it to make them like willing to boost the
I mean,
price again.
to be fair, I am one of them because it was like I was going down to extra. I cancelled my subscription, and then literally 2 days before my subscription was cancelled, they're like, please, we'll give you premium for the price of extra. I'm like, fine, I guess I'll stay on. But then that's another number for premium in their little books, their log books. Um, but it's still stupid. I hate subscriptions, dude. I do despise them. Um,
I feel like as nice as they are for consumers here and there in the short term, in the long term, it does like more damage if you examine it. I think.
I mean, 100%. I'm sitting here paying for NSO, Game Pass, and PS Plus.
Yeah, this isn't like a video game exclusive thing. Like,
Yeah.
Netflix was great when it was the only one. And then, seven other ones showed up and Netflix got worse and the other
Mm-hmm.
ones are not great either. So you got to have all of them at once to feel like
You're getting anything out of it, yeah.
yeah, unless you do something like me where you're only there for a very specific thing and are going to bounce when you're done with it.
Yeah.
Like Castlevania or Devil May Cry with me earlier this year, where it's like a month of Netflix and then I'm out of here.
And I mean, that's the smart thing to do. Um, if you're like, if Game Pass isn't your primary, like, if you're not a primarily Xbox gamer, it's probably the best idea is to just pay for a month of Game Pass Ultimate when there's something on there that you want to play and then you bounce again. That's probably the smartest way to go about it. Um, but I mean, my NSO, the beauty of NSO, ladies and gentlemen, is NSO is so cheap, and you can get like with family plans and stuff like that, you can get it for so cheap. I think I've maxed out my NSO. I think my NSO expires in 3 years, and I paid probably less than a year of regular PS Plus to get that. I'm just like, it's like I think I ended up paying like in total about $50, $60
Yeah, yeah. Like I was pleasantly like I
for
don't
3 years
remember.
of Switch
Yeah,
Online expansion pass with the stupid
like
GameCube games.
I was pleasantly surprised when I boosted that. couple of months ago, because I remember like at the time that they announced it, because clearly, a couple of N64 games and Sega
Sega
stuff wasn't
Genesis, yeah.
yeah, wasn't gonna be enough to like sweeten the deal enough for whatever the price gap was at the time. But now, especially since the other two have, just really jumped up the
Mhm.
prices for their own things, it's like, oh, this isn't bad at all.
I mean, I'm
I'll
not gonna
take
lie to
this.
you. One of the
I've
main
already got my
reasons,
money's worth out of it with the amount of Soul Calibur I've played.
dude, one of the reasons that I earlier this year I did boost it to the 3 years was because I was expecting Nintendo to go, okay, we're giving too much value here and everybody else is upping theirs. Let's start upping it. So I was like, well, this is super cheap. I'm getting in and I'm just going to pump the numbers up as much as you can. Unfortunately for Nintendo, you can only have a maximum of 3 years. Same for Xbox. Sony just lets you pump those numbers up. I should have pumped those numbers up years ago. I should have just gone 50, 50, 50,
Yeah,
50,
it
50.
should have just gone ham at the merger.
I know. Unfortunately, I wasn't in a full-time job at that point, so I didn't have that much disposable income when the merger happened. Otherwise, yeah, I probably would have boosted that sucker for a while. But hey, there you go. Anyway, subscriptions suck, and corporations are not your friend. And we should all go
they're all
back to
bad.
playing the PlayStation 2.
I don't care which one your favorite is, but I agree. PlayStation 2.
Or a console. You can
Best
play
one
PS1.
there ever was.
Oh yeah, you can play a DVD player, bro. That's sick. Imagine.
Everyone's first DVD player.
Everyone's first DVD player. You just love to see it, bro. You just love to see it.
It was so good that they couldn't top it. They had to change formats after that one.
Yeah, so true. Anyway, that's all for us this week. Thank you for hanging out with us. Next week, join us for God knows what happens next week.
Hopefully a reaction to a Nintendo Direct, or we're not gonna have.
Or it was garbage and we just ignore it and we carry on with our lives. Find out next week. But yeah, we'll find out then, I guess. But yeah, thank you for hanging out, everybody. We hope you had fun. We'll be back same time, same place next week for whatever that may be. But until then, have an awesome week. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Toodaloo.